Mary and her friend Maxine like to spend time outdoors growing flowers and vegetables in their retirement community garden. It's sunny and warm today, and Mary, who's 84 and has significant medical problems, begins to feel the heat as she climbs the stairs toward her apartment. Suddenly, she collapses, and Maxine finds her on the grass. She calls 911. Within minutes, an ambulance and rescue vehicle arrive, and paramedics tend to Mary, who's barely conscious. While they're assessing her condition, they ask if she has a physician orders for life-sustaining treatment form, known as POLST.
Does she have a POLST form?
She has a POLST form. It's up in her apartment.
Since Mary's apartment is some distance away, one of the paramedics phones into the electronic Oregon POLST Registry for her medical orders.
Yeah, we have a Mary Hughes. She lives on Holy Names Drive. Date of birth is 5/11/24, and she has a POLST form on file. Could you get us the information for us, please?
Mary's POLST orders are do not resuscitate and limited additional interventions. Based on those orders, EMTs assess her injuries and prepare her for transport to a hospital where a faxed copy of her POLST form will be available.
POLST is a written order. That's the standard that we want to find at the scene. We cannot withhold any treatment that we're capable of giving without a legal document that authorizes us to withhold that. As we're working on the person, I think if this was me, I wouldn't want this to be happening right now if it was my mother or father. But without legal guidance, we have to do everything within our ability regardless.
This scenario demonstrates how the new Oregon POLST Registry works. While the POLST form is an effective method of transforming patient preferences into medical orders, the registry helps ensure those orders will be immediately available in a crisis.
I think the registry is really important because it helps communicate really important wishes that a patient had to the people that are taking care of them. And in the environment of an EMS setting where there's controlled chaos, having access to that information at a really easy moment's notice is pretty priceless.
For the system to work, a POLST form must be completed and signed by a physician, nurse practitioner, or physician assistant. A few months ago, Mary and her doctor decided the time had come to discuss her medical care preferences should the need arise.
If somebody were to find you in an emergency situation, they would know that these are your wishes and that these are the orders that I've placed.
POLST is for someone with more advanced illness. They might have advanced heart disease, advanced lung disease, cancer that has spread, or they might be older and frail, and they might not want to go to the intensive care unit. It's not for healthy people. Healthy people should have an advance directive.
I know that it's somewhat age-related too, as to whether or not you would have a good outcome if you did have everything done.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
After talking it over, Mary indicates her preferences for do not resuscitate and limited additional interventions. If she had wished, she could have asked for full treatment or for comfort measures only.
A very common category, which is the one that Mary chose, is limited additional interventions, which essentially means I would want the simple things done, any medications you could give me, but I wouldn't want a tube in to breathe for me. I wouldn't want, in most cases, to go to an intensive care unit.
When her POLST is completed, the doctor signs and dates it to make it valid, and the patient signs the back of the form.
No one has to have a POLST form. This is completely voluntary. And if you have a POLST form, you don't have to have it in the registry, though most people would want it to be found so that their wishes would be better respected.
The completed form is faxed to the Oregon POLST Registry, which is housed at the Oregon Health and Science University Emergency Communications Center. That number can be found on the back of the form. The original POLST form is then given to the patient and remains what EMS looks for at the scene. The registry offers a backup when the original cannot be found.
For primary care providers, once they've gone through the good work of talking with the patient and properly filling out a POLST form, it's important that they understand that it is now required that that POLST form be entered into the registry. The only exception to that would be if the patient chooses to opt out.
There's a great opportunity here at OHSU to house the POLST form and already have a communication center that's there, well established, has tight quality assurance, knows what it's doing, And it's one phone number where EMTs and paramedics can call, where hospitals can call and get the information. And again, hospitals are pretty comfortable with the OHSU Communication Center because they transfer patients here at that same number. So it's kind of a natural place for it.
Once trained communications personnel enter the POLST into the registry, it is double-checked for accuracy and confirmed with a letter to the patient and doctor. Plus, the new POLST forms require more information to ensure the registry identifies the right patients.
We've added more demographic information, which is your full name, first and last name, address, the date of birth of the patient, whether they're male or female, so that we can positively identify each patient in every circumstance, because we never want to be wrong.
To make sure patient confidentiality is protected, the POLST registry will be housed behind the OHSU firewall, a well-tested and very secure database.
It is not a publicly available website, so no one else will be able to get onto that site and access any of that information. I can't think of a better place or better people to actually access this information and make sure that they relay it in a timely fashion and accurately every time.
The Oregon POLST program has been very successful in helping honor patients' preferences for treatment, life-sustaining treatments. The registry is going to really help with that next step. The POLST.org website has a number of resources that are available. Those include guidance for healthcare professionals, which demonstrates how the form is actually completed and used. There are also teaching materials that are available, as well as videos such as POLST at Work and POLST for Spanish-speaking patients and families. The website also has a summary of research that's been done on the POLST program and also indicates how it is that forms can be ordered from the Center for Ethics in Healthcare.
When Mary was transported to the hospital, her faxed POLST form was waiting for her, telling emergency physicians how to proceed. After assessing her condition and treating for dehydration, she was fortunate to be back home within a few hours.
It's really great that my wishes were carried out, and the registry for the POLST form was available.
Glad to hear that it works.
Yeah.
This video was made possible with support from the Kinsman Foundation and produced in honor of Mary Beth Collins.